Brony fandom began to spread, there's been a wide variety of resources that in many cases define the culture in the hopes that the Bronies can be perceived in a more positive outlook. Unfortunately, they've been heavily misunderstood, and even worse, assumed to the deep end of antagonism, no thanks to many mainstream medias. But disregarding that, some documentaries were in the works, and so far the latest, and perhaps in my opinion the most successful so far, is the Brony Chronicles. The Brony Chronicles is a 3-part documentary series that was assembled and produced by Stephen Carver and Joshua Tyson, formerly referred to as Saberspark and Paleosteno. For those new to the fandom thus far, Saberspark has been iconic for Ballad of the Brony, an hour-long school project he presented which told the information on the fandom during his major in political science. Paleosteno has been previously known for MLP video logging, episodic reviews of Season 2, and eventually a 45-minute video explaining the details and values of the show itself. At the start of 2012, the both have agreed and started producing this project, beginning with BronyCon over the summer. The first part of this documentary follows the historical background of the following: the fandom, the My Little Pony franchise entirely, and even the history of Hasbro itself. Many Bronies are interviewed along the way, explaining their side and discoveries of the show. AC Racebest, Your Enigma, Shira Point, D-Notive, Brony Curious, Dusty Cat, and many more, including Hot Diggity Demon, who's mostly recognized for his MOV series. What makes this documentary a lot more effective, unfortunately leads me into having to spoil it in order to determine my point across. To begin with, Hasbro's history points out and addresses their toy campaign as it has placed us under a mindset of separating ourselves by our genders.
This is what we call the pink-blue syndrome, and it has been highly prominent in the My Little Pony series since its creation, and is also the main reason why bronies are such an unusual phenomenon. Go to any toy aisle at any store. What colors jump out to you? Pink and blue, of course. And what do these colors indicate? The boy toys from the girl toys. The guys will stand around their aisle checking out Star Wars toys, Nerf guns, and Hot Wheel cars. The female section, on the other hand, will be filled with Barbie dolls, Littlest Pet Shop, and My Little Pony. This is something people in modern society are used to, but rarely consciously realize.
This was a mindset that's been around for many years, and because of that, this also explains the target demographics of each shows. This also explains the rebellious side of the fandom. As some of us may recall, some shows that were based on toys have been mostly a product placement over time throughout the 80s. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Gem, GoBots, He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe. These were separated into demographics by genders regardless of whatever the quality was the shows had in its time. To this day, this still continues. As shown through another example was the history of its past generations. The first generation began to start under some TV specials during the early 80s, then a movie, and then the series, appealing to young girls. After a long stretch of the franchise before Friendship is Magic, they reached the dead end of just trying to appeal to younger demographic. With FIM, it was shown that statistics and focus groups aren't the matter of appeal. In addition, unlike most fan videos that have spoofed the previous generations most people seem to have negated, the documentary has kept itself to a very fair degree. The last thing to give credit where credit is due is the birth of the fandom itself out of 4chan. 4chan has been known to be a very infamous website for a wide variety of reasons that only talking about them would open a fresh can of worms. But the reason why I give credit here is mostly because most documentaries regarding the fandom has been hiding from this, with the exception of Ballad of the Brony and the Know Your Memes video analysis. Let's face it, we are not a perfect fandom. We have flaws, we have issues, and we have encountered some personal dilemmas in the past. We've had internet drama through Tumblr, some internet forums, and DeviantArt. We've had some hard times at Everfree Northwest, and let's not forget the disastrous results with Las Pegasus Unicon. Hiding from it does not make the fandom any better. Glorifying the fandom and forcefully making it positive doesn't always work either. It's an aspect of hiding from your fears and your problems. If you learn and face and admit your mistake, you can learn from it and improve yourself. And you know what? That's what this fandom has for a long time. And that's what makes the fandom stronger. Wow, I got a little carried away right there. It's only until later on I can further analyze and deliver my 2 cents on the progress of the Brony Chronicles. But until then, I can't guarantee any final results. I will say, however, I'm very optimistic about it, and there's a lot that I can appreciate in what both Saberspark and Paleo has given us. I know it isn't fair to compare this to other documentaries, but I've learned so much from this one by far. The sooner the other two are finished, the better. To Saberspark and Paleosteno, well done.